So welcome back to another video. So if you haven't seen my last tournament, I did host another box tournament that is only on the Fusion World digital version this last Thursday. It's pretty good turnout. I think about 41 people, 40 people. Had 58 last time, so hopefully we can get back to those numbers for the next one. If you have any interest, definitely go ahead and join our Discord below, so that way you can get any of the announcements and as well as the next tournament. As far as the turnout and as well as what we had for the leader breakdown, we had 9 Broly's, 9 Frieza, 6 Goku, 6 Gohan, 4 Beerus, 2 Android 17, 1 Cooler. Actually, it should be 2 Coolers. That's a typo there. Sorry. And then the last 2 are Goku Black and Started at Goku, which actually ended up winning the entire event by Kevin. Now, the interesting part about this entire thing is the fact that you know, we have pretty good variety. Like before, we had like 17 Frieza and like 3 Broly, that type of thing. Some people seem to be moving around different leaders, but you know, when it comes down to it, green and yellow still on top, with red doing its thing, getting its success, because we had Beerus last time, I think. Well, we had Gohan last time, Beerus for Hayden's last week, and then started at Goku. So overall pretty healthy, and as well as decent variety. I'm glad to see a couple of the outliers as far as Cooler and as well as Android 17. Did watch that on the stream as well, here on this channel, as well as my Twitch in the description. And just overall, I'm happy to see it. It was a pretty fun event and pretty decent variety overall. All right, here is the top 8. Again, winning is Kevin with the Started at Goku. Hopefully I got the numbers right as far as that goes. But we had 3 Frieza in the top 8, 1 Beerus, 1 Gohan, 1 Android 17, the Started at Goku, and as well as the Goku Black, which was pretty nutty. Like on stream, he had like 2 or 3 different Goku Black stick drops almost every single time. It was nuts. We'll talk about that when we look over the list. All right, so the first one is going to be Kevin's list, and you know, this was really cool to see. I just made a video on Started at Goku, and ironically enough, he ended up winning it. And that was, I made that video before this event, and it was just ironic, really. But overall, pretty cool choices, right? Like when we think about red staples, I think the red staples are going to be this one drop Master Roshi, one of the best ways to awaken as far as to take a life pretty much every single turn, and reducing your extra cards, which we didn't really have as far as the extra card slots. We had the Mufuba. Free Mufuba is pretty cool. Free Mufuba into 3 drop Goku, which is again another staple. It's pretty good. Same thing for the 5 cost Goku if you do get that far. And the Master Roshi doesn't die, you know, that type of thing. But yeah, Master Roshi staples, 3 drop Goku, incredible card, probably the best card in red, I think. And then 5 drop Goku over here as well. Gonna be all the ones that you really want to play in this deck and probably any other red deck. Hit is another one, and you know, this is in the pool of self awakeners, and I've discovered that, like, and I've talked about in this previous video, that like you can probably reduce the amount of self awakeners within red, because you do have a Master Roshi, you do have 3 drop Goku, and then you have like all these other plethora things. So like if you play these trifecta of self awakeners, you're probably fine. It's just the upside of Hit being able to minus 5k, being able to have a 20k swing on 2, and then awakening on that swing as well to make it a 25k is really good. Now the 17 and as well as the Krillin are also self-awakeners, but they're really just 10ks. I think the 17 is probably a little bit better to have in the deck anyway. Then we also have some removal with Fua, the draw with Master Roshi, the vanillas for any given matchups. I think one of the ideas that I've seen while watching this deck is that like we have a bunch of 25k bodies. Even the Hit is a 25k with the leader. Now that means that that's less cards for you to basically sacrifice out of your hand, and as well as more cards for them to put in. And I think that's pretty much what the value engine as well as the balance of this deck provides. And of course we have Bultamo, which is just an interesting tech. You know, I think it's cool. Hayden loves the card. I think it's okay. I think it's a cool card. I would probably play it for sure if it was a 10k combo, but it is only a 5k. So overall, really, really cool. We did see the COP. Didn't really see it on stream too much, but it is a cool tech card. People will love or hate it on this card, I think. And personally, I could do without it. I don't want to be in the situation where I can't discard it for something, or I can't do anything, to play it later on. Like it just has no value later after I play it on the field. But I guess you can charge it. I guess that's pretty much it. But I'd rather have combo power. All right, next up is Mariano's Gohan. I don't know why I was looking at Goku, but Gohan deck, green Gohan. Now, this is pretty standard for any other green deck, right? Like we have the ramp, a structure strength. We have the 4 gigantic meteors. Some people play 3, but that's okay. We have 4 of the Brolys for the mirror, and just like it's a broken card. We have the 1 of 7-drop Gohan, which is needed. 17, 18, same thing. 4 Vegetas, which I'm back and forth on Vegeta, but I think it's needed. It is just there as a necessary slot, and as well as just to remove any of the 2 or less threats, which we will probably get more and more of as the game progresses and gets a little faster. We have the 18, only 2 of, which is fine. It might be a thing of like something 1 ofs, like well, maybe not Turles because you get it out the starter deck, but maybe like a thing of that's the only ones he pulled. Same thing for the Goku over here. You don't really see this one too much, but it is like the Vegeta 4-claw slot type thing. And then everything else is pretty standard. I'm glad that we see the 17 or the 16, which is primarily the best in the mirror. Maybe a little bit in blue, but like in yellow, they can tap it down, and then in red, they can just remove it without the effect. So, those are the things you have to consider for that. 3 of the 5-cost Gohan. It's a 30k attacker that removes something. I think that's why people are leaning into it more and more. But overall, solid deck, cool tech choices. That's it. All right, next up is going to be Nick Parker's Frieza deck. So, Frieza's cool. And I think as we look at this Frieza and as well as the next Frieza, we're going to see, different choices in what we want to put in, right? So, for instance, we have the 2 Guldo, which you didn't know. You switch to rest mode, and then you get to choose one of their opponent's battle cards. They can't switch to active until the next opponent's turn, which is pretty effective, right? We did see it against red, where you just keep that 25k 3-cost Goku rested, and it just doesn't. It isn't a menace anymore. But this also says like any card. So like if you really get into it, you can play this against Broly. You can play it against like a bunch of other stuff, like 17 and 18. And now they don't have that kind of threat that you have to worry about throughout. So I think it's a cool card. I would have to play test it a little bit more. Yeah, but we do have 4 of the Kui, which is necessary against Broly, and as well as a bunch of other stuff. We have 2 of the Golden Death Beam, probably in tandem with the Frieza, and as well as to take care of Frost and other things. And we still play the Raccoon and Ginyu, not so much of the Ginyu Force stuff, but it is just allowing you to awaken along with the 2-cost Frieza, etc. Some people do play the Ginyu at 4 or 3 or whatever, and we do play a 3 in this one. I do, I like Ginyu, especially in this deck. If they stick, you pretty much get like 2 or 3 draws every single turn for no reason. So yeah, that's all I can say about this one. If it sticks, it's great. If it doesn't, well, you still got to draw out of it, I guess. We do have Cooler in as well as Frieza. Sometimes we have like a 2 or 2 split, or 3 or 2 and 4 of this or something like that. But not too surprising. And then like Supernova is just broken. That's not really too much to talk about there. All right, next up is Jules' deck. So shout out to him for playing 17. I think we ended up renting him 2. So he got 4th with this one. Overall, I think it's cool because this is like the shift of aandroidd 17 not playing Jiro, which, I think you can go either way, right? I think you can go either way for it. Jiro just allows you to ramp with like literally no reason, and basically ramp quicker than most other decks, which doesn't mean much because it's like 1 energy advantage basically. But in this deck, we don't play that, and we play more of the same stuff, more of the Gohan, the Turles, which I love Turles. more of the destructive strength, and as well as gigantic instead of Jiro. 4 of the 18s, which is awesome, and then of course 4 of the Brolys. Basically, just making sure that our top end is amazing and basically emphasized. We have the removal for Gohan for any of the yellow, and overall just a cool deck. You just have a unconditional 30k swing, and you just have all the goodness from green. I think that's what the idea is. And of course, Trunks Future helps with that yellow matchup as well. That's pretty much the only thing you really have to worry about. You know, Beerus can get a little aggressive. You know, all these other decks can get a little aggressive, but overall, like as you get through the turns, I think it just gets better and better for you as 17 as well as just green in general. So kudos to him. Cool deck. All right, we got another Frieza deck. This is Cody's Frieza deck, Cody Overton. And again, pretty similar to the last deck that we saw, but the major difference is that we're playing the Mecha Frieza and King Cold package. So we have 6 King Colds with the 4 of Mecha Frieza. I'm very interested to see how what their reactions were to their opponent, right? So like, you know, throwing down the Mecha Frieza into a King Cold, swing with both, and then restanding them seems pretty cool. And if they KO it, which, you know, obviously in red or blue, you don't really get those effects. You get to pop a 4 cost or less. So, you know, in the mirror, I would personally like, I would put this like 3, because like our 4 cost curves are pretty sick. And you know, I just feel like Cooler's a sick card, but it is 0 cost, a 0 cost or a 0 combo, so I can understand that. But we do max out on the knees for Awakening. I think, yeah, we still have Raccoon into Ginyu. We still have the Frieza, etc. I think because we are like, we are focused on the King Cold stuff, and we're gonna awaken by turn 3. I think it's probably fine to play Zarbon instead of knees. I know it's a 5k combo, I know, but you still make up for it for the other cards, and as well as you just get the Ginyu target a little bit more often. Plus, I think if you don't do that, maybe reduce 1 by this, or 1 of the knees to 3, and then the Zarbon to 3, and that way you can play the Zarbon out. You have a Frieza army target. You get to search out the Mecha Frieza because it is a Frieza card, and then you should be good to go from there. That's just me. You know that that's just like theory crafting. I haven't really seen a deck that maxes out on the King Colds. I have seen it, but not in tournament. But cool deck. All right, now this is Quinton's Goku Black deck. So he ended up getting 6th. But like every single time we tuned into the stream, into his game, he, like I said, he had like 2 or 3 Goku Blacks, and he really wanted to make sure that everyone knew about Goku Black. Because honestly, you know, when this deck high rolls, it does really well. It has pretty much removal for most, if not all things, and then Goku Black cleans up everything else, or puts on the pressure where it just doesn't care about the stuff that it can't remove, right? So Mai allows you to awaken really quickly. The 8 of Zamasus allow you to get on the board, play out this guy for 1, this guy for 4. I don't think we play the vanillas either for the Goku Black, so that's super interesting. But instead, I think we are focusing on the Gotens, allowing us to awaken if we don't see the Mai, and then get these guys back, the Trunks and Gotens, as 10k combos, which we did see as well. And then, of course, Trunks, the 3 costs, can get grabbed by Goku Black or be played, and then return it right back, get the combo off of Mai. So again, high roll, a little bit of thinking for this deck, and a little bit of luck, because sometimes you are just not lucky to see the combo, and that's the only, like, the biggest downside to his effect, where you have to have a Zamasu on board, you have to have a Goku Black in hand, and putting 2 and 2 together in a not super consistent game right now it is pretty difficult. But at least we have the Searchers in Guasu. So cool deck, awesome, love to see it. Favorite villain, I can't say it enough. Goku Black sick, I love it. All right, this is Pedro Silva's Beerus deck. Now, you know, you definitely see some stark differences from other red decks when you take a look at Beerus decks, right? I think in this deck, it really depends. I'm not sure about the ratios. It might be just like super preference related, where we are playing the pretty dang good 2-cost promo card, where you have 25k swing, you have the removal, etc. for Beerus, etc. And we also have the Shins. The Shins are 10Ks, which are sick. This should have been a 5K, honestly, but being a 30K swing on both sides on your turn is pretty awesome. And sometimes decks just can't remove it, or they just don't have the means to, don't want to use the ability for it, that type of thing, or energy for it. And then we also have the 3-drop Goku, which, I'm surprised we only have 2, but it's very possible with the digital client that we only could get 2. So I don't blame him at all for that. We only have 2 of the Master Roshis, so probably don't really care about drawing too much on those. I would say like either play 4 or 0, right? I think if you are allowing yourself to, like, because you don't really get any benefits on the traits. You don't get benefits for being Master Roshi. So like I said, 4 or 0 is probably the right move on that one. But I'm sure it worked out. For the Frost too, by the way, I think your red matchup is pretty fine, or yellow matchup is pretty fine as red, but I think this is literally for anything, I guess. It just really depends. One cheeky thing you can do is that since you are minusing 5k for the turn, you can like defend with Kamehameha on your opponent's turn, and then minus a 25k, and then they can't swing with Frost. So that's pretty funny. That's all I can really say about that. But we do have the Fuas, we have the Gohans. Love this card. One of my favorite cards in red. It's just a cool like curve out, like minus 10k, 30k swing type thing, and use 7 Goku and as well as start at Goku. But in this deck, you're basically saying minus 20k because you're a leader. So pretty cool. Of course, the SCR. I don't think there's a better deck that plays this SCR. And then, of course, the 2 Tournament Power Arena, which I don't know how many times you're going to be able to see that at 2, but it is what it is. Cool deck. I'm at this. Yeah, it's a cool deck. All right, lastly is another Frieza deck. So pretty much the same as all the other Frieza decks that you may have seen, but the biggest like difference is going to be the Bannon, which during your end of your turn, you get to switch one of your Frieza army special trade cards to active mode. So basically you can switch yourself to active mode. It's a 15k swing if you really want to, or if you have all these other Frieza army, which is pretty much the entire deck, you can have up to 3 with your leader effect to restand. And it's pretty cool. I think that's a really cool card. I don't know how it played out. I think this will probably be better in the King Cold type of build, right? Because if you have multiple King Colds, multiple Mega Freezes putting down, you may as well have Bannon restand some of those things because they're most likely not going to get removed anytime soon. We are playing the Death Ball, which is awesome. I like the card. You get to see it, get to play it on both turns. It's really good against red, good against the mirror. And it's just a 15k 1 cost, and I think more people should play this card. Supernova is awesome, but because of the your turn thing, there's not too much manipulation that you're going to be able to do. We're also not playing Cooler. Very interesting they're not playing Cooler. Again, could be a digital thing, but I would expect some Cooler in a Frieza deck for sure. All right, that's all I got. I had to shoot this twice, so my voice is a little crazy, but let me know in the comments below what you think. And stay tuned for the next tournament. I do want to do at least one more tournament. I don't know when, but I have a feeling that I want to do like a double box instead of 1 box, and then it'll just like throw a bunch of other prizing in it. But I'll work on that, and I'll get back to you guys, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya.